comes to branding your business, there are generally two paths you can take. You could do the personal brand path or the company brand path. And I want to talk about these options because one of the most common questions I get when I'm working with people around their YouTube channel is, what do I name my channel? Do I name it my name? Do I name it my business name? And I think this is really going to tie into the answer I generally give people. And it's also a pretty relevant topic for me right now as I'm kind of reevaluating my entire brand, basically. So grab yourself a drink. This is a chill transparency video that I've been doing here every Sunday on my channel. I've got some Trader Joe's matcha tea. It's cold out today. I've got short sleeves on, so let's dive in. Honestly, the main difference between a company brand and a personal brand is you will be the face of your personal brand. And a company brand is more of like the logo, like Trader Joe's, right? There's no one person associated to Trader Joe's. It's a company, right? I honestly believe in the online space, whether you want to be a course creator, you are going to be a coach, a consultant, even if you're going to offer one-on-one services, you've got to start as a personal brand. And I want to talk about why. If someone is going to buy a course from you, they're going to be watching videos from you. They're going to be dedicating time to listening to you, feeling your vibes, basically learning from you, right? And they are going to need to like you as a person. Same thing if you're going to offer coaching. That is a very intimate relationship when it comes to coaching. Like they're expecting, trusting you, and they need to understand you're going to be the right person and they can put their trust in you. And just being like a business name isn't going to give them that connection that a lot of people need in 2024 to want to buy from them. And in fact, I think a lot of personal brands have a bit of an edge because I know for me, I'm going to buy from somebody that I can connect to. I know for a fact, if a podcast that I listen to of somebody that I love, like Stassi, and she recommends a product like Way Hair products, I'm gonna buy Way Hair products. Now, Way Hair products is a company, but Stassi is a personal brand. And if she says that's what she's using working on her hair health, I'm gonna believe her because I connect with her. This was really hard for me starting in my business because I came from working in the federal government for 8 years and I had a master's degree in business. So I came from a very button-up, like professional world, and I felt I needed to be this professional person. But when I got started online, I realized I had to be more personal to kind of break out because I realized people needed to like me and connect with me to buy from me. So when I started my business almost 10 years ago, I feel like I was in this identity crisis, basically. Half of me said, no, personal, suit, all of that. And the other half of me said, no, you've got to be over the top and attention grabbing and basically cringy. So if you want to go on a fun journey, pop on over to my mom channel. In fact, I just had somebody email me and say, I think someone's impersonating you on YouTube. And I was like, no, that's my first YouTube channel. And you can see how I started. I was very over the top, very cringy, but I thought I had to be this extra thing for people to relate and connect with me, for me to break out. And then on my business channel, I felt that I needed to be very to the point. And what happened was I didn't really make a connection on either side, either YouTube channel, because I wasn't being me. I was trying to play a part and my audience wasn't connecting with me. My audience felt it, and it just took me a long time to feel comfortable in being me, feel comfortable in showing up here as me. That's what I've really been working on as well, showing up here on Sunday videos, trying to just make these like, let's sit down, grab a cup of tea, grab a coffee, and let's talk about real issues that we're having in business. So if you do look at those videos, please don't judge me on the cringe factor of those, because I would hide those if I wouldn't want you to learn from them. As a brand, and like I said, I really think it's going to be important for you to be a personal brand to see the initial growth in your business. For you to show up as a brand, you have to be you. You have to show up as you, your quirks, your all that other stuff, right? I know sometimes we can feel like, well, we need it to be professional. I need to make my video perfect, but perfect doesn't make connections. And me tripping over my words, me just trying to share with you a little less scripted, a little bit off the script, so to speak, is going to make you feel more connected to me. And let me know in the comments, are these transparency videos fun for you to watch? Like outside of my educational videos, are these videos allowing you to have a different way of connecting with me than my typical videos? I will say, being online almost 10 years now, starting online when I was 29, and now we're looking 10 years from now, you do the math, I just feel more comfortable in being me. I honestly don't care what other people think anymore. And I realize I am growing my audience quicker just being me, just letting it all go. So let's get back to where we were on the debate, personal brand versus company brand. There is one factor that I would put into play if a company brand is the way you want to go. So if you know you want to build and scale a business that you ultimately sell, obviously it's going to be hard to sell yourself, your name, right? And I thought for a while, because of all the talk and what I thought the guru says was right, was building a company brand that I could sell. And I burnt myself out because I hated it. I hated scaling my business and being a manager, and it was too much pressure for me. Where I'm at right now, I want to be a personal brand. I don't want to sell my business. I love what I do. I love the clients I get to work with every day. I am currently building a lifestyle business, one that I can take a Friday off every Friday. I can go to Europe for a week. I can go on vacation for 2 weeks. I can decide not to work any day of the week that I want and not have to worry about all the other stuff that I need to do. I want to have a business where I can pay my bills and I can pay my 2 employees' bills as well. And that is it. And that is fine, because I think we are crammed so much in our head that we need to grow to 7 figures or we're not successful. What do you want in your business? Make your brand what you want. I was just listening to Mariah Cause's podcast the other day. She was talking about this as well, kind of how I got inspired. And she said, maybe at one time there was a belief that personal brands would put a cap on your growth and income, that a personal brand can only take you so far, but we've seen in the last decade how powerful personal brands can be. Like celebrities, influencers, and thought leaders have hugely built popular businesses either on a personal brand or launch from a personal brand. Want to be a personal brand? Go for it. Now, there are people like Tim Schmoyer of video creators. He was the face of video creators. He built video creators, but he was able to grow it and have other contributors on his YouTube channel and was ultimately able to sell the video creators brand to vidIQ. If that is your ambition, 100% go for a company brand. But if you just want to sell some online courses and coaching and be able to take your kids to school or volunteer at PTA or PTO or have the summers off with your kids, and you're like, I just need to make a couple $1,000s a month, you're totally fine being a personal brand. I do want to address a few points if you are thinking about doubling down on a personal brand, because this is something I'm thinking through right now as I'm thinking about the next era in my business as we see the next Tortured Poets department and Taylor Swift coming out soon in her new era. Very much a Swiftie. I'm thinking about my new era. First, yes, you want to think about the image of your personal brand. And this is colors and fonts, but that is not something you should focus it on. There are some people out there that will go all in on the imagery of their brand, like only wear clothes that fit their brand palette, and that's super crazy. I just like to wear clothes I like to wear, but you do want to think about image-wise how you're going to show up, because that will affect how your content looks on social, how your website looks, how your YouTube thumbnails look. But you also want to think about values and boundaries. So what do you want to be known for? Or what do you want to stand for? What I really want to stand for is that you can do whatever business you want to do. I want to stand for transparency. I wish there was so much more transparency in this online space when I got started, because I feel like I wouldn't have been so mind-effed about what I needed to do to be successful in business, because people just weren't being transparent. And that's why I started this, to just open that door so you have the, I guess, permission to do what it is you want instead of following what some guru tells you to do. I also know there are boundaries in my personal brand. Yes, I am a mom. Yes, that's a key point of my entire brand. Am I gonna be showing my kids frequently? No, they're not here when I film because I wouldn't be able to film, but they are not a face of my brand. Me being a mom and having to pick them up from school while they're sick is part of my brand. Me not showing them sick at home is not part of my brand. Same thing with my husband. He's here. We do everything together. Will he be showing up on my social content or in my branding? No, because he's not part of my brand. Yes, I am a wife, and yes, we do our things together, but he doesn't need to show up. And so those are kind of the boundaries that I set when I'm thinking about a personal brand, because you don't have to share everything in your life like a vlogger. You can pick and choose what your personal brand is going to represent. I also am no longer going to be ashamed talking about the things that I like. So for a long time, I would avoid, sorry, we're gonna get comfortable here. I gotta sit here. For a long time, I was ashamed to talk about Bravo and Real Housewives because I thought that made me, I don't know, less of an authority figure, but I love watching Real Housewives. I love watching Vanderpump Rules. I love watching Summer House. And for me to share these things that I enjoy, I'm gonna make a connection with you. Maybe you didn't like Bravo stuff, but maybe you like Love Island stuff or Love is Blind or any of those reality TV shows. And I think it's important for us to know reality TV isn't trash TV if we enjoy it. It allows me to get out of my head when I'm doing business stuff day to day. I need to enjoy my time off and talk about the things that I like and let you know it's okay to like those too. This also allows you to repel people, and this is very important because you want to make sure that people that you are not going to enjoy working with, that are going to give you a hard time, are repelled and they leave. You're not going to be somebody for everybody, and that's exactly where you want to be because you don't want to have those dreadful clients that you are not excited for working with, right? So repelling people with your personal brand is also essential. I want you to know that deciding on a personal brand doesn't mean you're stuck with it forever. As I mentioned, I am going to be quickly approaching 40, and I started my business when I was just about 30. I've changed. My tastes have changed, my confidence has changed, and I've evolved. Think about Taylor's errors, right? All the different errors she has, and that is okay. So you can decide to have what brand you want right now and don't have to be so in your head, is this gonna be me forever? No, because that is not gonna be you forever. You are not gonna stay that forever. When I talk about Stassi, she just did a podcast about how she completely rebranded her brand because when she started her podcast, she was in her 20s. She's now in her late 30s with 2 kids, and she's realized she's in a different space. She wants to talk about different things on her podcast. She doesn't want to be known for the title she gave herself when she was 20. And I mean, think about it. What were the decisions we were making when we were 20? Not the same as we're making as we're approaching 40, right? So just know your brand can evolve. Your brand can change. You can be a personal brand. You can be a company brand. You can come back to a personal brand. It is all fine. I think the point that I'm getting to here is that it's your business. You get to set the rules. Don't let anybody think you're doing something wrong if it feels good and that's the direction you want to go. Because what can happen is you start to build a business based on what other people say you should build a business around, and you end up hating your business, which was exactly where I was last year when I decided to burn basically 80% of my business down. And we've had to pretty much start from scratch this year. I've actually been sharing more about this change in my business and the way I'm seeing business and sharing a lot of behind the scenes stuff here on my channel every Sunday in these transparency videos. I would actually love to hear from you. What topics do you want to hear from me, and where are you at with personal brand and company brand? Are you currently a personal brand, wanting to go to a company brand, vice versa? Let's talk about it and have a conversation down in the comments. And if you want to hear why I ultimately burnt down my multi-6-figure agency, watch the video that's on your screen right now because I share it all. Mention it all, Bethany, Housewives Insider.